Process development at Recipharm is executed in both of our divisions. Let me first explain what we do in our advanced biologics ATMP division, where we have a highly skilled team that is focusing on developing ATMPs such as mRNA medication, viral vectors, microbiome, and other biologics. In the division of Recipharm for the conventional pharma products such as oral solids or steriles, which includes semi-solids and liquids, by the way, as well, we have two flagship sites for product development. One is located in Bengaluru with a highly skilled team of approximately 90 people. A third of it, 30 people, are working in the supporting analytical development, and 60 people are working in the formulation and process development. This team is focused on development of oral solids, immediate release and modified release, but they have as well in the team capabilities and expertise for semi-solids, for liquids, and just opened a development lab for parenteral formulations such as lyophilized products, liquids in vials or cartridges, or blow-fill seal products. When it comes in our division to the sterile development of small molecules, which is started in Bengaluru, then our site in Wasserburg can support with the clinical trials on their various line for vials or for cartridges. And in our Kaisersberg site, which is a flagship site and center of excellence for blow-fill seal, we have the capability on our Lab Plus site to support clinical trials as well in batch sizes of 200 milliliter and larger. In Europe, we have a development site in Zwickau focused on oral solids. They have the technologies blending, dry granulation, tableting, coating, and encapsulation. By the way, B and 3 dosing is possible here as well with mini tablets, for example. In both sites, as mentioned already in the beginning for Bengaluru, the development team is supported by a strong analytical team which is embedded into the QC department and into the policies and quality systems at Recipharm. When we talk about the development itself, we are following the quality by design approach, and that is in principle nothing else than listening to the molecules. So we try to understand and if data are missing, we generate them, the physical properties of the API, and based on this, we then can select the prototype formulation, and with our development tools in conjunction with the analytical department, we can refine and fine-tune the formulation and the process, which in the end led to a complete product development which is robust and reproducible. The development target, which is in other words the quality target product profile, for example dose form, release profile, etc., is driven by the biopharmaceutic characteristics of the API, by the physical properties of the active ingredient, and by the patient group. And in the end, it is mutually defined and decided with our customer. The development strategy is defined by the regulatory strategy, the clinical strategy, and the analytical strategy for the product, very often influenced as well by the business strategy of our customer. And the individual strategies needs to go hand in hand and needs to be fully aligned to ensure and guarantee seamless and successful execution of the product development program. The development strategy is always defined based on the regulatory strategy for the product development, the related clinical strategy, and as well the analytical strategy. In case of a CDMO, there's an impact of the business strategy of our customer very often as well. And all four need to go hand in hand and need to be clarified and aligned in advance to guarantee seamless execution and commercial success. Product development, analytical development, and manufacturing are linked at Recipharm via the Recipredict platform. The Recipredict platform is a toolkit consisting out of our expertise, statistical tools, modeling, as well as seamless scale manufacturing equipment from gram to kilogram scale. The basis of Recipredict is to understand the correlation between the material attributes of our active compound and our excipients, the process parameter, and its impact on the quality attributes such as hardness, dissolution, assay, content uniformity. So, and how are we doing this in practice? We are first evaluating the material attributes of our compounds, and supported by a risk assessment, we are evaluating their impact on the quality attributes. And we are doing this for each quality attributes separately, so that we are able in the end to have a formula in which the quality function, the quality attributes, is defined as a function of the material attributes. We do the same for the process parameter. Again, based on design of experiments, quality by design, risk assessment, some supportive trials as well, of course. And we are creating them the same formula for the interdependence of the quality attribute to the process parameter. Then both is combined, and in the end we have a mathematical description of our manufacturing process and of our product, which we can use for simulation or for modeling. The same we are doing for the analytics to understand the variability of each analytical result, as this is guiding us as well to the right formula and to the right process. The outcome in the end is a clear understanding of the material parameters, of the process parameters, how they impact the quality attributes, and a 100% clear understanding of the process robustness, so we can predict outcomes of quality attributes or of commercial manufacturing based on our product development. A development program at Recipharm is a continued iteration of risk assessment and gap analysis. Based on this risk assessment and gap analysis, which are telling us which data are needed to further proceed in the development, we are planning trials and execute them in smallest scale, very often in gram scale. The outcome of these trials is then supported by statistical tools, fed back into our development as well as into our models, and used for further development and optimizing the formulation. At Recipharm, development programs are always designed to be executed with the lowest amount of API possible. It all starts with the material characterization, for which we have established professional tools such as FT4, powder rheometer, PET, ACOPYC, GeoPYC, or for particle size measurement, laser diffraction. Based on the outcome of this material characterization of the API and possible excipients, we are able to create in silico prototype formulations which we can execute on our Style 1 compression and compaction simulator under real conditions of commercial manufacturing process. This equipment is able to imitate commercial tablet presses and equipment. We are able to execute these trials in smallest scale. The outcome of these trials is then fed into our models and further processed with statistical tools so that we can, based on the modeling and the mathematical formulas which we are creating in Recipharm, we are able to execute certain amount of the development in silico. So we are able to simulate computationally the outcome of the processes and predict the outcome with regard to analytical results or quality attributes. Some of those trials are then executed in reality to further calibrate and adjust our model. And typically after 1 or 2, latest 3 iterations of this material characterization, prototype formula, checking on our small-scale equipment, plus the modeling, we have a robust formulation and a clear understanding of our process itself, the process parameter, and how it impacts in the end the process robustness of the commercial product. The development collaboration with our customers is starting already from the first request from the customer. Typically we get a request for product development, and the next step is an internal scoping. So we identify, if possible based on the information from a customer, what could be a feasible development strategy, and in case questions are open, we loop them back to the customer. Once the scope of work is clearly defined, we issue a ballpark quote to the customer, which is then basis for first discussion and refinement. Once we are fully aligned on the development scope and the services we should provide, then we put it in a final quote, which is then submitted to the customer again. In the case the customer trusts Recipharm and places the order, the next step is a kick-off meeting where we dive deep into risk assessment, trial planning, and final alignment on outcomes. Based on this, development reports are written and executed. Once the formula itself and the process is defined, we can either produce clinical trials or can go into upscaling and commercialization. The whole process is not only supported by our Recipharm platform. We have a full toolkit of project management tools supporting the success of the project, such as stage gates, project meetings, meetings with the customer, clear escalation process, and a mutual storage of information. Based on the outcomes of development, which include a full understanding of our quality, product attributes, and processability, in numbers, process robustness, we are able, in a collaboration with our MSAT team, to bring it into scale-up and seamless into manufacturing as process parameter, and related design space is established in advance of this transfer and has been subject to a handshake with our internal MSAT operations team and with the customer. Typical problems or surprises during scale-up to commercial manufacturing are repeatability at larger scale or process robustness, and as well cost of goods. At Recipharm, we plan and design our formulation and process development from the beginning to address cost of goods in advance. So we try to identify the most simple manufacturing process that leads to a specification-conform product. As well, we try and identify the cheapest excipients which are available in the market to be used in the formulation. Supported by our stage gate process, where all the functions as supply chain, operations, MSAT and quality are present, we ensure that process robustness, repeatability at large scale, as well as cost of goods are in focus from beginning of development through commercialization. Recipharm is continuously investing into the product development capabilities. We recently opened a specialty lab for analytics of nitrosamines, extractable leachables and elemental impurities. We further invested in a parenteral lab for the development of sterile formulations. In our flagship site in Zwickau, where we have established already the dry oral solid technologies, we are currently preparing for an investment into the wet technologies such as granulation and coating. Further, we are in the process of establishing pilot scale capabilities in our high potent site in Leganés to be able to deliver on the special requests of the market with regard to high potent molecules as well.
Formulation development, analytical development and manufacturing are linked with our ReciPredict approach. Through ReciPredict, we understand the relation between material, process and quality at an early stage. It enables us to put this relation into a mathematical formula, create a model and use this model to predict and control process robustness and quality attributes. Using our FT4 powder rheometer allows us to develop prototype formulations with 50 to 150 grams of material. On our compression and compaction simulator, Style 1, we can run processes under commercial conditions in batch sizes starting from 20 grams. Therefore, DOE and early risk identification is possible with limited API available. Once you have created a model, you can perform most of your trials in silico. In other words, you simulate the process under different conditions and predict the values of the quality attributes based on your initial formula. Executing some of the trials in reality helps you to further calibrate your model as needed. Process, robustness, and a sufficient wide design space are critical to enable reliable scale-up and commercial manufacturing. Key results include selecting a robust formulation and scalable process parameters, and defining critical quality attributes, critical process parameters, and material attributes. FT4 powder characterization helps us to understand flow behavior and tendency within the active. Measuring, for example, the wall friction can indicate bridging tendency of the materials. The measurement of basic flow indicates if a powder is cohesive or easy flowing. Compressibility gives us an insight on compactability behavior. Based on these results and the database we created on various excipients, a first formulation can be composed. A further categorization of the blends will guide us to the process we need to choose. The difference in development by Recipharm is ReciPredict, value by design. With that approach, we have a strong focus on de-risking the development with early linking of quality target attributes, critical material attributes, and critical process parameters. This enables us to have seamless scale-up and provide an uneventful, robust commercial production. We focus on a clear and open communication with our customers. We have regular meetings in place where we update our customers on the project progress. We do our risk assessment review regularly with them, and we establish stage gates where we mutually decide on the further project progress based on the data we generated so far. Technical and operational risks are reduced through early risk assessments, data gap analysis and targeted studies. Continuous data evaluation using the Recipharm platform combined with iterative optimization and reviews ensure early identification and mitigation of potential issues. Formulation and process development are not detached from another. Therefore, we are working closely together, always with commercial production in mind. The expertise on challenges in commercial production and during scale-up is within Recipharm. Therefore, the focus is on early identification of risks and mitigating them during formulation development. Our customer had a process reproducibility issue with a tablet formulation. The process consists of a blending step, a compaction and a compression. Process robustness was not given and formulation could not be changed at this point. Key challenge was the granule formation, what led to issues in tabletability and resulted in not met quality parameters. After an in-depth risk review before start, key process risks were identified. A physical characterization on API was done. Material attributes like compressibility were linked with process parameters during compaction and compression. We performed a small DOE to evaluate design space in compaction with compression. We built a model on these parameters and linked granule quality with compressibility to reach the target quality parameters. With this systematic approach, we consumed less material and completed this challenge with a successful validation in 6 months' time. Uneventful, boring manufacturing. We focus on critical quality attributes and key risks in early stages. We address major data gaps rather than fine optimization and apply phase-appropriate development activities. We align optimization efforts with development stages and project goals. Product development at Recipharm consists of early identification of critical material attributes and process parameters linking with quality target attributes. Small-scale studies to understand material and process viability. Application of statistical tools and DOE where appropriate. Continuous monitoring and model refinement as data emerges. And all these points are all combined with Recipharm. Early identification of probable scale-dependent parameters and equipment differences help us to ensure seamless scale-up. We use risk assessments and prior knowledge to guide scale-up strategy and help understanding the parameters interacting across scales. The definition and verification of a design space to ensure robust operations during scale-up is key.
The development of formulations, processes, as well as methods is a living system. It needs close collaboration and the necessary vision to align everything to have a submission package available. Plans need flexibility as the experience and knowledge about the process and the quality attributes increase during the project phase. The team always has that in mind and set the priorities. We always start with an ideal method or process for the future routine that is good for GMP aspects, the customer, as well as in-house necessities. For analytical methods, for instance, there is an analytical target profile in which we design a method as we would like to have it. However, adjustments might be necessary as the scope and/or the scientific or technical approach needs to change. Analytical development is an integral part of the program. Methods are developed and validated in parallel and very early to make decisions using valid data. We are using a science-based approach referring to current guidelines and the scientific needs. Therefore, we start the analytical life cycle very early in the project and develop in parallel. This approach is not new, but lived throughout the team. Close collaboration between the subject matter experts from formulation and analytical development is key to success. Valid data is key to scientific decisions throughout the program. The analytical methods need to be established early in the program and must give an acceptable confidence level. Analytical data is used to prove the models and hypotheses. It is always discussed together in the team what set of experiments is needed to confirm the hypothesis and what data is needed for regulatory purposes. Decisions are always done based on data. This also helps the market authorization holder to describe and defend the development activities in front of the authorities. It is the best way to include GMP aspects from the very beginning of the development of an analytical method and the manufacturing process. When you have GMP in mind, whatever you do, you come up with a robust method and process that is defendable in front of company needs, quality systems, authorities, and of course the patients themselves. This means analytical process development is performed to serve routine batch manufacturing for the next decades. Data is always key to good decisions during the program, as well as the assessment of the product quality during product lifecycle. Customers need an easy and quick access to data and decisions to evaluate their products and to get an imagination of potential risks for the future. Therefore, it is important to have the customer included early in the project, but also perform straightforward handover to commercial to ensure life cycle of a product with an easy decision and defendable data.
At Recipharm, problem solving is never an isolated technical exercise. It is structured and collaborative process, designed to keep our customers informed, aligned and fully confident in the path forward. We strengthen this through project-specific governance model that is shaped around the unique needs, risks and expectations of each stakeholder around the project. This ensures that everyone from development team to leadership operates with the same clarity, prioritization and direction. From a customer perspective, the practical benefits of Recipharm's development approach in short is Recipharm gives you speed, continuity and commercial certainty. In the phase from development to commercial supply, we remove complexity and protect your data. We provide the expertise and infrastructure to bring your product contractual fast from development to commercial supply. We think about your commercial success early. From a commercial perspective, within a pharmaceutical development service organization, customer feedback and market signals are not just inputs. They are powerful strategic drivers that shape our service portfolio, refine the way we operate and guide the investments that secure our competitive edge. Every insight we receive, whether from emerging scientific trends, customer partnerships or shifts in global regulatory expectations, directly fuels a continuous enhancement of our development capabilities and ways of working.